November was an absolutely wonderful month for new releases and picking up some new to me things, and I'm going to share those with you today here on the Rose at Home channel. I am Rose, I am at home, and I have about half of the books that I picked up this month. The other half I picked up from Book of the Month Club. Almost everything was a new November release or is coming out at the beginning of December, so you might want to check out that video after you watch this one. And so I'm going to get right into it because I picked up a couple of things that I'm really excited to read in December for the holidays. And the first is The Christmas Appeal by Janice Hallett. And it's kind of novella-sized. Doesn't that look adorable? And so this, I believe, is a more Christmas mystery suspense, and I love having lots of options with the holidays. So let's see. One Dead Santa. A town full of suspects. Can you uncover the truth? The Christmas season has arrived in Lower Lockwood, and the Fairway Players are busy rehearsing their festive holiday production of Jack and a Beanstalk to raise money for a new church roof. But despite the season, goodwill is distinctly lacking amongst the amateur theater enthusiasts, with petty rivalries, a possible asbestos-filled beanstalk, and some perennially absent players behind the scenes. Of course, there's also the matter of the dead body on stage. Who could possibly have had the victim on their naughty list? Join lawyers Femi and Charlotte as they investigate Christmas letters, examine emails, and pore over police transcripts to identify both the victim and the killer before the curtain closes on their holiday production for good. So if you're looking for something really short, holiday without it being overly goodwill filled, I think this might be something interesting, and I'm super excited to read it probably next month. It really seemed like all of the more mystery-laden Christmas books that came out this year were more novella length, and so I also picked up Peter Swanson's The Christmas Guest. Now, this is the author of 8 Perfect Murders, which I read this year and so enjoyed. So I went ahead and grabbed it. Again, super short. Let me check. It might feel like it's not even 100 pages, so it'll be a nice, fast Christmas mystery. So let me tell you what it's about. Ashley Smith, an American art student in London for her junior year, was planning on spending Christmas alone. But a last-minute invitation from fellow student Emma Chapman brings her to Starwood Hall, country residence of the Chapman family. The Cotswold Manor, festooned in pine boughs and crammed with guests for Christmas week, is a dream come true for Ashley. She is not only mesmerized by the cozy firelit house, the large family, and the charming village of Cleavemore, but also by Adam Chapman, Emma's aloof and handsome brother. But Adam is being investigated by the local police over the recent brutal slaying of a girl from the village, and there is a mysterious stranger who haunts the woodland path between Starwood Hall and the local pub. Ashley begins to wonder, what kind of story is she actually inhabiting? Is she in a grand romance? A gothic tale? Or has she wandered into something far more sinister and terrifying than she'd ever imagined? More than 30 years later, the events of that horrific week are revisited, along with a diary from the time. What began in a small English village in 1989 reaches its ghostly conclusion in modern-day New York many Christmas seasons later. It's going to be a quick read, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and so I'm really looking forward to this. The last holiday theme thing that I picked up in November, not from Book of the Month, is The Book Club Hotel. I really like that cover. I think that's adorable. Okay, so this one. Nestled in rural Vermont's snowy landscape is Maple Sugar Inn, the boutique hotel Hattie Coleman and her husband Brent lovingly restored. But when Brent died a month after the opening, it was left to Hattie to carry on alone. With its historic charm and picture-perfect library, it's considered the winter destination. And as the holidays approach, the inn is fully booked, with guests looking for their dream vacation. But widowed far too young and exhausted from juggling the hotel while being a dedicated single mom, Hattie dreams only of making it through the festive season. When Erica, Claudia, and Anna, lifelong friends who seem to have it all, check in for a girlfriend's book club holiday, it changes everything. Their close friendship and shared love of books has carried them through life's ups and downs. But Hattie can see they're also packing some major emotional baggage, and nothing prepares her for how deeply her own story is about to become entwined in theirs. In the span of a week, over the most enchanting time of the year, can these 4 women come together to improve each other's lives and make this the start of a whole new chapter. That sounds absolutely like the kind of thing that I'm looking for the holidays, and I cannot wait to get to next week when it's time to start reading this type of book. For Black Friday, Barnes & Noble did 4 times the points for their premium members and did 50% off a whole bunch of books. So I took major advantage of this sale. So the first thing I got was already on my list. It was sitting in my cart waiting for me to hear what the deal was going to be, because I knew they were going to do something. But this just came out last week or the week before, and it is The New Naturals by Gabriel Bump. Look at that cover, look at that cover. So this was on my list since before it came out. It was on my list when it was on a lot of like coming soon lists. And so I totally grabbed it as soon as the 4 times the points started. An abandoned restaurant on a hill off the highway in western Massachusetts doesn't look like much. But to Rio, a young Black woman bereft after the loss of her newborn child, this hill becomes more than a safe haven. It becomes a place to start over. She convinces her husband to help her construct a society underground, somewhere safe, somewhere everyone can feel loved, wanted, and accepted, where the children learn actual history, where everyone has an equal shot. She locates a benefactor, and soon their utopia begins to take shape. 2 unhoused men hear about it and immediately begin their journey by bus from Chicago to get there. A young and disillusioned journalist stumbles upon it and wants in. And a former soccer player, having lost his footing in society, is persuaded to check it out too. But no matter how much these people all yearn for meaning and a sanctuary from the existential dread of life above the surface, what happens if this new society can't actually work? What then? From one of the most exciting new literary voices, The New Naturals is fresh and deeply perceptive, capturing the absurdity of life in the 21st century. In this remarkable feat of imagination, Bump shows us that, ultimately, it is our love for and connection to one another that will save us. Doesn't that sound amazing? I don't know that I'll get to it in December because I have a lot of holiday books that I've picked up, but I really want to get to it soon. The next book was on my list since it came out. I think it's been out for a couple of months now, but they started remarketing it because it won the Barnes & Noble Book of the Year, and I was able to get my extra points, so I went ahead and grabbed it, and it is The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store by James McBride. I've read his Deacon King Kong. It's on the shelf behind me. I'm not sure if you can see it. And I really enjoyed it. His writing is very dense. It's very heavy. It's very long sentences, or at least it was in that book. So I know I have to be in a place where I can focus, but I also know that it's just superb writing. It's superb character creation. It's superb plotting. Like, all of it is going to be amazing. And so let me tell you what this one's about. In 1972, when workers in Pottstown, Pennsylvania were digging the foundations for a new housing development, The last thing they expected to uncover was a human skeleton. Who the skeleton was and how it got buried there were just two of the long-held secrets that had been kept for decades by the residents of Chicken Hill, the dilapidated neighborhood where immigrant Jews and African Americans live side by side, sharing ambitions and sorrows. Chicken Hill was where Moshe and Chona Ludlow lived when Chona ran the Heaven and Earth grocery store, which served the neighborhood's quirky collection of blacks and European immigrants, helped by her husband Moshe, a Romanian-born theater owner who integrated the town's first dance hall. When the state came looking for a deaf black child, claiming that the boy needed to be institutionalized, Chicken Hill's residents, roused by Chona's kindness and the courage of a local black worker named Nate Timblin, bonded together to keep the boy safe. As the novel unfolds, it becomes clear how much the people of Chicken Hill have had to struggle to survive at the margins of white Christian America, and how damaging bigotry, hypocrisy, and deceit can be to a community. When the truth is revealed about the skeleton, the boy, and the parts of the town's establishment played in both, McBride shows that it is love and community, heaven and earth, that ultimately sustain us. Bringing his masterful storytelling skills and his deep faith in humanity to the Heaven and Earth grocery store, James McBride has written a novel as compassionate as Deacon King Kong and as inventive as the good Lord Bird. I'm really excited for this. I think I'm going to really enjoy it. I just need to make sure that my mind is in the place for it so that I really can get the most out of it. The next two I got on the 50% off sale. So this first one, it really jumped out at me. It kind of screamed at me. I was like, there's something about this book. This book has been on my radar and I can't figure out why. So I went ahead and picked it up. And then when I brought it home and I'd unpacked the bag, Liam said, "Oh, I have that book. Remember you went with me to get it?" And I was like, that's why. We might be able to do a buddy read maybe the end of December, which might be fun. So what I picked up is The Dead Take the A Train. Check that cover. Like, that's crazy good. I love the color. I love all of that. This is not a holiday book. This is not a holiday book at all, but I'm still really excited for it. My name is Julie Cruz, and it's my job to put bad things to rest. Julie is a coked up, burned out 30-year-old whose only retirement plan is dying early. She's been trying to establish herself in the New York City magic scene, and she'll work the most gruesome gigs, exorcise the nastiest demons, and make deals with the cruelest gods to claw her way to the top. But nothing can prepare her for the toughest job yet, when her best friend, Sarah, shows up at her door in need of help. Keeping Sarah safe becomes top priority. Julie is desperate for a quick fix to break the dead-end grind and save her friend, but her power grab sets off a deadly chain of events that puts Sarah and the entire world directly in the path of annihilation. The first explosive adventure in the Carrion City duology, The Dead Take the A Train, fuses Cassandra Khaw's comic horror with Richard Kadrey's gritty fantasy into a full-throttle thrill ride straight into New York City's magical underbelly. So it is the first in a duology. It's weird because it's in Goodreads by each of their names separately, so I'm not quite sure what's up with that. I haven't looked into it though. But I am excited for it, and if I like it, I will absolutely be picking up the sequel. And the last thing that I picked up, also 50% off at the Barnes & Noble Black Friday sale, has been on my list, I want to say since summer. I think it came out then. And the reason I haven't gotten it sooner, I've been looking at it, I've been wanting it. Every time I come across it, I think I should grab it, and I haven't until now because of the price. And by the name, it sounds like it should be a Macbeth retelling or a Macbeth-inspired something, but the description doesn't sound Macbeth, and so I don't know. But it is Eleanor Catton's Burnham Wood, which is a pretty cool cover. So, yeah, when Burnham Wood comes to Dunsinane. So, let's see. Burnham Wood is on the move. I guess that's the connection. A landslide has closed the Kenawai Pass in New Zealand's South Island, cutting off the town of Thorndyke and leaving a sizable farm abandoned. The disaster presents an opportunity for Burnham Wood, an undeclared, unregulated, sometimes criminal, sometimes philanthropic, guerrilla gardening collective that plants crops wherever no one will notice. For years, the group has struggled to break even. To occupy the farm at Thorndyke would mean a shot at solvency at last. But the enigmatic American billionaire Robert Lemoyne also has an interest in the place. He has snatched it up to build his end times bunker, or so he tells Burnham's founder, Mira, when he catches her on the property. He's intrigued by Mira and by Burnham Wood. Though they're poles apart politically, it seems Lemoyne and the group might have enemies in common. But can Burnham trust him? And as their ideals and ideologies are tested, can they trust one another? A gripping psychological thriller from the Booker Prize-winning author of The Luminaries, Eleanor Catton's Burnham Wood is Shakespearean in drama, Austinian in its wit, and, like both influences, fascinated by what makes us who we are. A brilliantly constructed study of intentions, actions, and consequences. It is a mesmerizing, unflinching consideration of the human impulse to ensure our own survival. So I've been wanting to get this for a while, like I said. It is definitely something that I'm looking forward to reading. I just worry that I'm going to try to make too many connections or be looking for connections instead of just enjoying the book. So I need to make sure I don't do that to myself, but otherwise I can't wait. So those, along with my Book of the Month Club, are what I picked up this month. I do have my December Book of the Month coming in soon, so make sure that you subscribe so you can see that. And I very soon will have my December TBR up, which is going to feature so many holiday books that I am giddy with excitement over them and over the ability to share them with you. So I really hope that you enjoyed this. And in the meantime, I hope that you have an absolutely amazing rest of your week and that you get to read some really amazing books. Bye, y'all.